Hi everybody, it's Mr. Alqamoussi, and today we are going to be going over our root words for Unit 3. The first word on our list today is dict. Try to think of some words in English that contain the root word dict. Do that now. These are some words that contain the root word dict. Thinking of these words or any other words you may have come up with, try to predict the most likely meaning of the root word dict. Do that now. Dict is a root word that comes to us from Latin, and it means to write. Dictation is the act of writing. Tion is a suffix that means the act or process of. As for the word predict, pre is a prefix that means before. To predict is basically to know something before it is written. A dictator is someone who writes the law, and that's why whatever the dictator has written is what is law. He is the only one who writes law. Benedict contains two root words. Bene, you may recall from a previous unit, means good, and dict means to write, so Benedict means good writing. Contradict also has two roots. Contra is a root often used as a prefix that means against. So to contradict is to be against someone's writing. If someone says or writes something and you contradict it, you basically say or write the opposite. And edict contains a prefix e, which means out. An edict is a writing that is sent out, usually a law. Governors, rulers, kings, and even sometimes religious figures will propose edicts, or laws that are sent out to the people. The next word on our list is tele. Try to think of some words in English that contain the root word tele. Do that now. Here are some words in English that contain the root word tele. Looking at the words on this list or any other words you may have come up with, try to predict the most likely meaning of the root word tele. Do that now. Tele is a root word that comes to us from Greek, and it means over long distances. In the word telephone, phone is also a root word that comes to us from Greek that means sound or hearing. Telephone is sound traveling across long distances. Television contains two root words. Vis is one of our old words that means to see. Television transmits sight over long distances. Telegraph also contains two root words, graph meaning to write or draw. A telegraph is a writing or drawing sent over long distances. Telepathic also contains two root words. Path, as we remember, is a word that can mean feeling or disease, in this case meaning feeling. Something telepathic is something that sends feelings over long distances. These are people who say that they can communicate, for example, telepathically, meaning that without using words or sounds, they are able to communicate their feelings to others over long distances, maybe like talking to ghosts and so forth. And a telescope, scope a root word meaning to see, telescope is sight over long distances. The next word on our root words list is picked. Try to think of some words in English that contain the root word picked. Do that now. Here are some words in English that contain the root word picked. Looking at these words or any other words that you can think of, try to figure out the most likely meaning of the root word picked. Do that now. Picked is a root word that comes to us from Greek, and it means an image, to draw or to show visually. A picture is a drawing or something shown visually. Pictograph contains two root words, graph meaning to write or draw. A pictograph is a writing or drawing that is shown visually. This particularly applies to languages in which their writing or alphabet are in the form of letters. Something picturesque is something that looks like a picture. We often say something is picturesque if it's beautiful, such as a sunset or a mountain scene. The suffix that you see here pronounced esque, spelled E-S-Q-U-E, means to look like or be like. For example, I could see someone beautiful and say, "Oh my God, she is so modelesque," meaning she looks or is like a model. So picturesque means to look like or be like a picture, to be beautiful. And to depict is to show something as a picture, to be drawn or shown visually. The next root word on our list comes in the form of ridi or rizi. Thinking of some root words or words in English that contain this root word, see if you can come up with any and write them down. Do that now. Here are some words that contain the root word ridi or rizi. Looking at these words or any other words you may have come up with, try to think of what the most likely meaning of ridi or rizi could be. Do that now. Ridi or rizi is a root word that comes to us from Latin, and it means to laugh or to mock. When we say something is ridiculous, we mean that something is laughable or mockable. It's something that is worthy of being laughed at. Someone's behavior may be ridiculous. It's so bad, it's worthy of being laughed at. To deride someone is to laugh at them. Imagine someone walking down the hall who has done something that may not be socially acceptable. Maybe, for example, they ended up wearing a funny color to school. To deride that person is to laugh at them. Someone who is riant is someone who is always laughing. Try to think of a friend you may have who is always riant, always laughing, having a good time, and having a positive behavior. Something risible is something laughable, something we are able to laugh at. Certain behaviors can be risible. And something that is derisive is also something that is able to be laughed at. The next word on our list is the root word para. Try to think of some words in English that contain the root word para. Do that now. All of the words you see here contain the root word para. Looking at these words or any other words you may have come up with, try to predict the most likely meaning of the root word para. Do that now. Para is a root word that comes to us from Greek, and it means beyond or beside. Something paranormal is something beyond normal, or even you could say it's parallel to normal, it's beside normal. Paranormal activity is activity that far exceeds normal activity. Two lines that are parallel are two lines that are beside each other. This term comes to us as a mathematic term from geometry. Two lines that never intersect are called parallel because they're always right beside each other. Paramedic contains two root words. Med is a root word that means doctor or to help. A paramedic is someone who works beside a doctor, kind of like a nurse. Parody is basically make fun of something or pretend to be something that is just like it. In other words, we may watch a horror movie like Scream, but then if we watch a parody of Scream, featured in, for example, Scary Movie 4, this parody is similar, it parallels, it's kind of next to Scream. The parody in Scary Movie is next to Scream. So they're kind of parallel or similar, and that's why we call something a parody, because it seems to follow something almost like it's right next to it. Paranoia also means to think of things that are beyond normal. If someone is paranoid, as one of our vocabulary words, it means they like to think of things in a certain side by side. The last of our root words for this unit comes in the form of QU, either QUE or QUI. Try to think of some words in English that contain this root word. Do that now. The words you see here all contain the root word que or qui. Looking at the words on this list or any other words you may have come up with, try to think of or predict the most likely meaning of the root word que or qui. Que or qui come to us from Latin, and they mean to ask or to seek. A question is an asking or a seeking in the form of a noun, tion, meaning the act of. Question is the act of asking or seeking. To request something is to ask for something again. A request is to repeat or to show again that you would like something. To inquire also means to seek or look for an answer. A quiz basically tests you on answers. It poses a situation where you must provide answers. It seeks your answer. An inquiry is just like to inquire, it's just in the form of a noun and it also means to ask. And a requisite is a condition, usually saying that you'll get what you want, but before you do, we're asking something of you. Requisite means something that is being asked of you. This concludes Unit 3. Thank you for watching.